Welcome to part 2 of the painting where I'm challenging myself to paint what strangers on social media tell me to. So I asked people to think of their most random combination of things that I should paint, and I started off with a few in the first part, and now I'm just working on making sure that my painting has a theme, so it's not just a bunch of random things, but how can I get the colors together and tie these aspects together to give it some sort of common theme. I had these little water droplets coming out of that one eye, and I thought I could turn it into a face in the corner. So I'm going to use this brown yellow color and have it as a base, then make a face in the corner from that, just so they're not these random blobs. So I'm making those into a face and covering some other parts of the painting to make sure that I don't run into any issues with colors that don't go together. So sometimes when I see in a blank space, I fill it in before I start another aspect, just to make sure I don't use the wrong color for an area right beside it. Someone commented and said I should paint a lemon hanging out by a tree. I will say this did not go to plan, and I turned it into something else. I was gonna do street lamps and make one a light bulb, which is this one here. And the second one I was gonna do the lemon, but I chose the wrong color and did not get the shape right. So I ended up doing that at a different part, and I'm just making this into an eye. I filled in the wrong color. It didn't have any type of details that show that it's a lemon, so I just kind of left that for later and did some more outlining. As I was taking a look at the painting, I saw a shape that I could turn into a face, so I drew an eye and some teeth and making it like a little monster looking face out of the side of this rhubarb plant. Sometimes when I see shapes, I do that, add a different element popping out the side of it, and that one worked out well. So back to this lemon, I'm just fully free-forming it. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with that part, and just adding some more little details and little parts to break up open space. I added some shapes off of this street area and have them kind of like traffic lights, and I'm making it into a face here. I was missing something in this top part of the painting, so I'm adding the teeth as buildings so I can make it like a little skyline within the face. Sometimes I like to have double elements, so there's a face or a type of aspect within it that has 2 or 3 little landscapes. I just find it makes it more interesting to look at, and I can use more colors that way. Now I'm going through and adding another little face that I see potential space for, and looking at the painting from a larger scale and seeing where I can add other elements to break up certain parts and give it more of that doodle-style flair. So I'm gonna go back to doing the aspects for people soon. This one is something that someone commented where I should do a bunny. So I'm having a little bunny face popping out, and I actually like the way this one turned out. I'm just doing the outline for it now, but I went in and did some color layering that you'll see soon. I wanted to add some more details to this face to make sure it's not too plain. So I'm just adding some little red arrows going in different directions. Then I also had an idea for the mouth. in that open space that goes down to the edge of the canvas, I'm going to do like a little grid crisscross. But then I'm going to go in and do a kind of square checkered pattern. I still have to figure out what color would go there, but I'm just trying to give more detail to this face because it's the bottom right corner, and I find sometimes that's where people's eyes are drawn, so I want to have something specific that people can look at. So now I'm going back to that bunny, and I want to make sure it's got enough little details and texture inside of it. So I'm just going to paint it gray. I'm going to paint the background blue, so I thought it would go well with that color because I didn't want a color that's too similar. And I know it's close to that road there, so I wanted something to really get in between it. And I thought I'd give it like the bloodshot eyes with some red lines going through it. And I like how it's going. I like how it's peeking over the eye. I didn't want to do just the full body of the bunny because I didn't know where it would fit into this one. Someone commented that I should paint the ghost from Mario, and I thought that'd be a good one to do white with this green. So I'm just going in, I'm making it a super basic outline, and I need to do something around it to make it work. I realized as soon as I finished it that something needs to be paired with it or else it looks out of place. So I'm going to go back to that one later and just continue filling in some areas with shapes and certain elements that I kind of see space for. I realized that I need more structure around this main face that I have. I have those two eyes there, but I need a nose and I need to do something about the mouth. So I'm just making a nose there just kind of as a placeholder. Then I want another aspect in this part of it. So I'm going to do a tree and have it creep into the ghost area and see if I can mix the two elements. Someone else said that I should do a lemon hanging out by a tree, same one that we attempted earlier, but I'm gonna do this one and make it sitting beside a plant. And I thought that I could have the lemon be a second eye to a face. So I'm just gonna try my best with that one. But for now, I'm just gonna fill in the colors, see which colors I can have as a background before committing to that. This is usually the part of the painting where sometimes I get a little bit stuck on what colors to choose, and I need a few more little things like elements and planned out designs so that I can kind of naturally pick colors around it. Sometimes I do section off little areas and make the colors work so they don't clash, but it gets tough near the end. It's almost like a puzzle. You have to see which colors will work, and you don't want an orange too close to the yellow or colors that are too similar. So I'm just trying to add those details and make sure that I don't set myself up in a situation where the colors clash or look kind of odd together. Now I'm just going through and adding some more colors in the places that have a bit of space and doing some more outlining so I can see the little doodles and drawings come out more sharp. I wanted to add more color difference to some of these areas, like the orange and the purple, and then fill in this face so I can start layering on that one too. I'm at the point now where in some of my past paintings, I would have just filled in color and added a few sloppy details and just kind of finished it to be done. Or sometimes I'll finish 90% of a painting and then take another month to finish the last few details. But for this one, I really wanted to challenge myself and take my time and add some more realistic looking aspects. And when I say realistic, not hyper realistic, but realistic to my style, more kind of intentional, I guess is the good word, of planning out a few things to challenge me to try to paint around. So I'm just filling in more colors that I wanted to do, adding some lines on the road, and then I'm going to add a few more little aspects into the painting, just so I'm not left with open spaces and things like that. So I want to try at least one or two more aspects that I haven't done yet and see how those look. I'm back to this little lemon slice area, and I want to add some lining to give it more of a realistic feel. So when I paint over it, it doesn't just get washed out and look like a kind of orange looking circle. So I know lemons are usually yellow, but I think a yellow would look kind of odd with the colors I'm using. So I'm going to paint it a lighter kind of brown yellow and see how that works. I like how it's looking so far. I think there's a good mix of the bright colors and the darker ones. I find usually in the past I would do a painting and it would either be all dark colors or all bright ones. And I actually like how they complement each other. So I'll definitely be doing more of those in the future and just kind of testing out and seeing what works. I think what went well with this one is that I didn't rush it and I took my time and challenged myself to try a few different things that I usually wouldn't. I like getting other people's ideas on things to add because it's stuff that I would never even think of doing. I find I kind of have a few details or a few kind of designs that I do that are in my back pocket that I use quite often. So it's kind of nice to change things up and it creates new shapes and new space in the paintings that I wouldn't have had if I just kind of stuck to what I'm used to. I really like how the white and green go together, so I'm just doing this little Pac-Man face kind of thing and seeing how that looks. I definitely need to add something around it because I think I'll be doing like what was by the ghost, where I still don't know how to bring it together. So I'll come back to that, but now I'm just filling in more white on the dark colors and really like how it looks and how it kind of fills up that space. I've done this in the past where I have a kind of checkerboard pathway, and I like the way it looked, and I thought it would look good in that corner. I didn't want to do another detailed aspect because I didn't want things like the bunny and the ghost to be kind of overlooked, so I just thought that'd be a good kind of filling piece to have. And then I'm gonna add something coming out here just because the white on blue looks really good, and I wanted to make sure it's not too dark. When I took a look at it before, it looked like some of the dark colors were overpowering the bright ones, so I want to make sure in my final kind of details and texture phase of the painting that I'm going and adding more bright colors, especially the white. I thought it'd be kind of cool to complement the large TV that's in that one eye and have a few small little TVs kind of looking like they're falling or just floating in space, and have a few of those throughout the painting. I thought it would kind of complement that main element as well. So I kind of like that. I'll add something in them to give them more detail, but for now I'm just going through and doing some more lining. So now I'm almost done. I am going through and now just making sure every black line is fully over at least twice, because I don't like it when you can see a little bit of white or colors pop through. So I want to make sure all the lines are clean. I want to add a few more details and really push myself to make sure that every area has time and cool things to look at. With my paintings, the goal is to have it where someone can look at a little portion of it in a little section for a while and always see something new, whether it's a face or a different kind of shape or aspect, and not just look at the painting as a whole, but be able to look from part to part. So I want to go in and make sure all that detail is done. My goal at the beginning was to really make sure I'm adding as much detail and not rushing like I did on the last times I painted this one over. So I'm finally happy with this little ghost area. I think the orange and the green and the white look good. Then I also made the lines a little bit thicker around it. So I'm filling in a couple aspects that I thought I was going to leave just empty, but I thought it would actually look good with more bright colors in it. The white I'm using a lot more than I thought I would, and I like the way it looks. So just adding a few things that kind of mesh the different element from one area into the other, but not quite the same. So with this one, I'm doing streets, but little broken up smaller ones kind of going into different areas, and kind of looks cool. Just a cool way to fill space and blend the aspects from the other part. Now I'm just adding more detail into this main face and more color blending on that yellow part. So we'll see how that turns out. And then this tornado I really want to have as a aspect that draws the eyes in. So I'm going over it again and again to make sure it pops. And just having that little grid area in the face, just doing a little crisscross with blue and red, and adding some more white areas and white details to the darker areas. I like doing these little plants with droplets coming down, just kind of anything to make someone's eyes just kind of look through different parts of the painting. As I'm going through and doing some finishing touches and more lining, I really like the way it's looking. I was not sure how it would look and didn't really have any type of vision for it, but the more I'm looking at it, once I'm putting in more lines and detail, I'm really happy with how the colors are blending and how things are popping and nothing's kind of just getting lost in the background. So I'm excited to see how this one looks when it's done, and I'm getting close to finishing up. I really wanted to make sure I stick to the goal, which is to take my time and make sure there's no empty spaces. I've had some paintings that I looked back a few years ago and I really liked them at the time, and now I look back at them and I'm thinking they're 50% done. I should have taken more time and added more colors and textures, so I'm just going through and adding textures and extra little patterns and colors in every single empty space I can see. And I'm almost done just doing the last few details here, and I'm really excited to see the final painting and how it came out. I really wanted to make sure this tornado actually looks like a tornado and has that pattern and shape. I find with the red and the black it was hard to get that, so I needed to add some white and red, and I wanted it to look like it was shooting out little shapes, and that was a good way to fill up that extra kind of burgundy red space up top. Now I'm just doing the final touches where I'm going and seeing spaces where I can add more bright colors. I want to make sure, because there's a lot of darker colors as a base, that there's lots of bright ones to give something to look at. I find if I do details and aspects dark and it's on a dark color, they kind of get washed out and a lot of people don't see them when they look at them. So I really just want to make sure I'm bringing in as much brightness to the painting right now. I really appreciate everyone who was commenting on social media and giving me ideas on stuff to paint. It was a lot of fun being able to challenge myself, and it ended up looking like a painting that is different than the last ones I've done, which I really appreciate, because without those ideas I wasn't able to, push myself and actually make a brighter painting with more cool elements. So that was a really fun thing, and I definitely want to do it again. I think if I do another one, I'd challenge myself to do more of those. I think I did maybe 6 or 7 of those elements in it, and I think going forward I'd do 20 of them and do those first, or then let my style take over after. I think about halfway I kind of just did my style around them, and I think for the next one I just want it to be mainly those aspects and see how that turns out. So now I'm just signing it in the corner, and I am officially done this piece. So here's how it turned out. I'm super happy with how it looks. I think it's a cool color scheme. I like how there's dark colors and bright colors, and I really like how the elements pop out, and they're things that I usually wouldn't have tried. So thank you for watching this, and if you have any ideas on things you want to see in the next painting, the next time I do this, let me know, and I would love to have some more ideas on cool things to paint.